It is day number 2 of this week of poker, and last night we got a win. It wasn't a huge one, but we got a win of 267. This morning got a little bit of editing in, ran some errands, got a workout in with Seth. And then made my way over here. The game starts at 5:30. It's about 5:10 right now. If you missed this, the beginning of the game, we're at the Black Pearl today, by the way. And if you missed the beginning of this game, sometimes you'll sit for 2.5 hours before you'll get a seat. Get going on this game. Hopefully it's a good one. We'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated. I'll let you know. All right, guys. Let me give you a little bit of background on this hand. We find ourselves in the small blind with the dark deuces. Let's see, there's an erase from a late position player, and the person in the big blind, who is our main villain in this hand, has been playing, I would say, 75 to 80% of hands. And whenever he's hit top pair, regardless of his kicker, it is worth all of his chips. We're hoping to hit a set, and if we can, we'll try to take some money from the table. And so we're pretty pleased when we go to a flop, and the flop comes down King Deuce 9 with 2 hearts.
Yes!
We can definitely get some value from a king when a king bets. And we go ahead and check, and unfortunately it does check all the way through, so that's not exactly what we want to see with our set, but we're going to have to take the betting lead here on the turn when a queen of diamonds shows up. Now we've got even more hands that we can get some value from. So I go ahead and lead for $40, and the big blind, you can see it doesn't take him long to make the call. That's our wild man. And the other players are going to fold. When the 9 comes down, he may have a set of 9s. He can have the 9 as easily as he can have the king or the queen. And so I'm going to go ahead and lead big and hope that he has a pair and is willing to call, which he has shown a tendency to do. So I bet 125 into 140. He has the straight. For some reason, he does not choose to re-raise me. He leaves a little bit of money behind, which pretty surprising for the straight that he has. He has Jack 10 offsuit, and we're scooping a pot to start this one. All right, hand number 2 is our only hand that we did not play against that original opponent that I took notes on. So ace of clubs, 8 of clubs, we're in the small blind. I think you can 3-bet squeeze. There was an open from middle position and a couple callers. We end up instead just making the call, going to the flop to see what kind of a hand we can make, and we'll work from there. The original opener was tight, and the other player on the button is also tight. So we go to a flop of queen of clubs, 4 of clubs, 7 of diamonds. So we've got the nut flush draw and an overcard. I check, and the original raiser checks as well, but the button bets $45. I'm gonna think about this one for a second. You could either raise or you could call. I think either play is fine, but based off of if I do raise and this player is mostly going to be betting what I would assume is top pair, they're probably not going to be getting away from it when the board, really the only scary things would be sets. So I just make the call here, and I'm going to see what we can do on the turn. We end up making a pair, and we check again over to the button, and this time the button bets $85. Doesn't think about it for too long, and with that much equity and the chance to improve, I don't think I actually like making a big raise here. I'm content to let him continue to take the lead, and there may be times where we end up having to check and then it's no good on the river, but since we have some showdown value, I think we're okay to just try to realize our equity. We go to the river, and it's the king of hearts. We check, and he immediately checks back and shows queen of hearts, 8 of hearts, which is really surprising. All right, guys, time for a solver break. Let's go through this really fast. I'm going to kind of recount the hand here. I check, my opponent bets 45, I call, then the 8 of diamonds comes down, I check again, they bet 85, 82 is what my solver's showing here as a percentage, but you get the idea. And I'm going to go ahead and call. The king of hearts comes down on the river, and I check. Now I want to show you what my opponent should be doing, and this is the point I wanted to get across to you, is that queen 8 of hearts here should be betting an almost all in almost 100% of the time. So all in basically 100% of the time, and instead they chose to check. So as far as game selection, this is a very big deal, and here's why. When you find a game where people are scared to value bet with a hand as strong as 2 pair on this river, you are saving yourself a lot of money. You're going to be put in way fewer difficult positions, and this is a really big deal for you. So look for games like this. This has been a Salt. And number 3, we have Red Ladies in middle position. I raised a 25 over a limper, and we get called by that same opponent who has been rebuying. He's on his 4th rebuy with 250 in front of him, and we go to a flop, which is the 9 of spades, 3 of spades, Jack of diamonds. I'm going to lead out into this one for $20. So I'm going to down bet just a little bit. I think this will do the job against most hands the way we want it to. And he immediately goes to 65. Now again, he's been calling any amount with top pair and putting all his chips at risk over and over again throughout the night. So normally I would allow him to just take the lead, have some bluffs with his like flush draws and things like that, and be content to let him bluff at it. But in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and put all the money in. I rip it all in, and you can watch how long it takes him to make the decision. It is right away. He's not afraid at all. Like I said, I'm expecting him to have a lot of top pair here, and sure enough he does. He turns over ace jack. So one of his better top pairs. He'd been turning over a lot of weak kickers, but in this case he has top and still the queens hold, and we're good to scoop this one as well. Hand number 4 is against the same dude. All right, middle position opens to 20. We get a call in between. We call in the cutoff, and the big blind completes. So now we go to a flop of 10 of hearts, queen of hearts, 7 of diamonds. We have an open-ended straight flush draw, and we're going to try to wreck some dreams. The original raiser makes it 25, and I'm just going to call. Let's realize our equity, try to turn a great card and blow this pot up and take a bunch of money off the table. So the big blind now check raises to 125. Against a different opponent, I'm going to probably get very aggressive in this spot. However, against this particular opponent that will call almost any size raise with top pair, even with it, if it has a bad kicker, I no longer feel like I want to put all the chips in. Even if we have a small edge, which we do here statistically, that's a lot of variance that we're taking on without much of a chance that he's going to fold. So I go ahead and just call in this spot. We're deep enough that I can see one more card before deciding if I want to play for all the chips. We go to the turn, and the turn is the queen of spades. And now I'm fully expecting him to just jam or to get all the money in there as fast as he can, and instead he checks. It's very surprising. It's probably going to put him on a lot of draws. Maybe he has like king jack or jack 9 or something like that where he's looking to make it straight. Maybe he has a flush draw. Maybe he has a 10. So the river comes down the 5 of hearts, and he checks to us again. I have to go for value. I'm going to try to target a 10. And so I'm not going to bet huge. I'm going to go for 150 in this spot, hoping that I can get a crying call out of a 10. Maybe he even has something like pocket 8s, where he's just, I mean, this guy's been kind of a goofball all night. So let's see what we can get out of him. We're hoping he'll throw some chips in so we can get paid. He decides to fold, and we cannot complain about that. We are scooping a pot. Final hand of the night, guys. Let me paint the picture for you. So jack of hearts, 10 of hearts is what we're holding. We're in middle position, and I open to $15. The wild man is now in middle position too. He has just reloaded for another $200, and he makes the call. So does the big blind. 3 ways to a flop, and the flop comes down jack, 10, 6, rainbow. Ah! Everything looks great. All I can hear in the back of my mind are those words from Mortal Kombat. Finish him, and I'm going to try to. I am feeling good. I'm going to bet down to $20 because we cover so much of this board. He calls pretty quickly, and the big blind folds. The turn is a queen, and I'm going to stick with my plan to just bet small and continue to extract value, hoping we can get it all in by the river. I bet $50, and our opponent just instantly raises us all in. Against any other opponent, I would pause and think. Against this player, I am never folding. He is in there way too wide and overvalues every top pair. So I throw the chip in, thinking to myself, everything's coming together. Everything's coming up, Sean. Feels great. We're going to end the night on a high note. Oh, wait. Queen 6 offsuit, you say? I double check my cards, make sure that my 2 pair is not good. It is not good. He has queen 6 offsuit, turns the 2 pair that's higher than ours. It feels terrible, but That's what you have when you're playing against a Maniac. He gets the best of this round. Overall, we won the fight, but we do leave with some bruises. Hey guys, just played 3.5 hours at the Pearl and decided to lock up the win and call it a night. After the experience yesterday where I started really well, played well, and then kind of felt like maybe I should leave, but felt that pressure to stick around and put the hours in, I'm going to go with my gut and go with what I've been doing, which is to know when it's time to leave, and it's time to leave. So headed out, made 360 in about 3 hours, which is pretty good. We'll take that. I'm going to call it. I'm going to head home. I know it's only 3 hours, but I'm good with it. I've booked a win, and I can tell I'm getting tired. I would rather play with a clear mind and make good decisions. And after that last hand with the Queen 6 offsuit, felt the tilt just a little bit. And so tired, maybe tilting, early morning, time to call it. So good session, and I will catch up with you for day 3 tomorrow. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's the end of day number 2. If you did, like and subscribe buttons are down here. Feel free to mash them and smash them. We'd love to have you be a part of the community. Join the DOS. We welcome you with open arms. Anyway, day number 1, if you want to see some more action, is up here, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.